Right now, the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is speaking about President Trump's tariffs. Listen to what he just said.
Yesterday marked the latest in President Trump's unprecedented series of U.S. tariffs that are designed to reshape the international trading system.
China just took our closest ally. Imagine waking up and finding out that your closest ally, the one you've trusted for decades, just sided with your biggest rival and left you behind. Well, that's exactly what just happened. Canada, the United States' top energy partner, has pivoted toward China in a stunning oil deal that could trigger a full-blown energy crisis here at home. And according to insiders, it caught Trump completely off guard. Let's unpack what really happened here, because this wasn't just another international trade deal. Canada didn't simply sell oil to China. They reshaped the entire energy map of North America, without even consulting Washington. Canada has signed a multi-billion-dollar, multi-decade energy pact with China. It includes joint investments in pipelines, port expansions, and deep integration with Chinese state-run energy firms. We're not just talking about sending a few barrels of crude overseas. We're talking about long-term preferential access, with China now receiving priority on Canadian oil exports. And it gets even more alarming. Canadian oil companies are now diverting shipments once destined for U.S. refineries, instead sending them to Chinese ports via the Pacific. China didn't just buy oil, they bought the logistics, the contracts, and the future flow of Canada's energy resources. For over 30 years, Canada was America's energy safety valve. When global oil markets were shaky, we relied on Canada to stabilize prices. That trust, that pipeline of reliability, it's gone, quietly replaced by Beijing, and no one in Congress seems to be asking the hard questions. We didn't lose just barrels of oil, we lost leverage, trust, and a strategic position we once took for granted. Now let's talk about what this really means, not for politicians, not for think tanks, for you. You're already paying more at the pump than ever before. The national average for gas is hovering around $4 to $5 per gallon, and in states like California, it's crossed $6.20. But with Canada shifting supply to China, the US has to find oil elsewhere, from less stable, more expensive sources. That means fewer options, higher risk, and yes, even higher prices. You might say, well, I don't drive much. But this isn't just about your car. Fuel runs everything. When oil gets expensive, so does shipping. And when shipping costs rise, your groceries get more expensive. Think about it. The milk you buy, the vegetables trucked from out of state, the packaging made from plastic, the heating oil for your home this winter, all of it is touched by energy. And when those costs go up, you feel it right in your wallet. Not once but every single week. Families on fixed incomes are already making choices between gas or groceries, heat or medicine. And now this? We're looking at a perfect storm. Canada walks away, China wins big, and American households pay the price. Not next year, not in some distant future. Now. So let's ask the uncomfortable question. Did we do this to ourselves? This fallout didn't appear out of nowhere. It was years in the making. Under the Trump administration, the US launched a tariff war aimed at China, but it didn't stop there. Steel and aluminum tariffs hit Canada, our closest ally. Lumber from British Columbia, taxed. Cross-border energy projects, delayed, debated, or outright blocked. Canada, for a while, stayed calm. They played the long game. But what message did we send? We don't need you, we'll go it alone. And now they've answered with a message of their own, neither do we. Then came the Biden administration, and instead of repairing the cracks, it widened the rift. The cancellation of the Keystone XL pipeline was a clear signal. Energy cooperation was no longer a priority. No new cross-border infrastructure, no trade reform, no strategy to counter China's growing presence in North America. While Washington fought each other, Beijing made friends, and locked in supply chains we used to control. Here's the part no one wants to admit. This wasn't an accident. It was a pattern of political neglect, over 2 presidencies, that made Canada rethink everything. We didn't just lose oil. We lost their trust. And in geopolitics, trust isn't easy to win back. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just about one oil deal or one ally turning away. This is about a pattern, and that pattern should scare us. For the past decade, China has been expanding its energy and economic influence across the globe. Africa, they've locked down infrastructure and mining rights. The Middle East, they've signed oil agreements with Iran and Saudi Arabia at the same time. South America, they're investing billions into lithium and copper extraction. And now, they're here. North America, right in our neighborhood. When Canada shifts energy partnerships away from the US toward China, it's not just a trade decision, it's a statement. A warning sign that America is no longer the default partner in its own hemisphere. And ask yourself this: if we're losing Canada, what's next? Mexico? Brazil? Chile? This isn't about war or ideology, it's about strategy. And right now, China is executing theirs flawlessly, while we're stuck fighting each other over who's to blame. The US used to lead with confidence, with vision. Now we're reacting, late, disjointed, and divided. If we don't wake up to this reality, we may soon find ourselves surrounded, not by enemies, but by former friends who found better offers elsewhere. If you spend just 5 minutes reading the comments under any news video about this situation, you'll notice something. People are angry, but it's not blind rage. It's disappointment, it's heartbreak, it's exhaustion. One man commented, "I served in the military to protect American interests. Watching our allies sell us out while Washington does nothing feels like betrayal." A single mom wrote, "My heating bill is already unmanageable. Now you're telling me oil will cost more because we couldn't keep a good relationship with Canada? This isn't political frustration anymore, it's personal." People feel abandoned, not just by foreign governments, but by their own. They feel like Washington doesn't understand what it means to live paycheck to paycheck while debating oil policy in marble halls. And honestly, that pain is real, because while China was out making deals, our leaders were making speeches. While families were worried about heating costs, they were busy scoring points on cable news. People don't want rehearsed talking points. They don't want blame games. They want leaders who will say, "Yes, we failed. And here's how we fix it." Until that happens, the anger will keep growing. Because nothing stings more than feeling powerless in the country you've worked your whole life to build. So, is it already too late? That's the question people keep asking. And the honest answer is, not yet. But the window is closing, fast. The first step? Admit the problem. This isn't just a Canadian issue. This isn't about Trudeau or oil companies or media spin. This is about the US losing credibility, with allies, with partners, with the world. Step 2. Rebuild trust. That means revisiting the cancelled energy projects that made Canada feel boxed out. That means offering actual incentives, not just demands, to keep allies aligned with American interests. And finally, we need to remember, leadership isn't about reacting. It's about anticipating. China plays a 50-year game. We can't afford another 4-year cycle of finger-pointing. If we don't act, we risk becoming bystanders in a world we used to shape. But if we lead with vision, not ego, and if we treat our allies like partners instead of pawns, we might just turn this around. Because if we keep losing ground, piece by piece, we'll wake up one day and realize we're no longer the world's superpower. We're just another voice in the crowd, wondering how we let it all slip away. Do you feel like the US is slipping? Do you think Trump's policies pushed Canada away? Or was Biden's inaction just as bad? Let me know in the comments. This channel is about real talk. No scripts, no party lines, just the truth as it affects regular Americans. If this message hits home, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video, because this isn't just news. It's your life, your future, and it's time we took it back.